She is the stronger sister, after all.
Oh, goddamn! Oh.
May be broken forever. In the shocking Season 8 premiere of 1000 LB Sisters, Amy is pulling away, Tammy is setting hard boundaries, and the family is facing more struggles than ever. From wedding drama to health battles and emotional fallout, this season opens with a level of chaos fans have never seen before. The Season 8 return of 1000-Pound Sister does not feel like a typical reality TV premiere built around light catch-ups and hopeful new beginnings. Instead, the episode unfolds like the opening chapter of a family crisis already in motion, where emotional distance, personal reinvention, and unresolved resentment quietly shape every interaction. What viewers are witnessing is not simply another stage in Amy Slaton's public journey, but what increasingly looks like a turning point. One where the foundation that carried her through years of struggle is no longer stable. From the first moments of the episode, the emotional tone surrounding Amy feels markedly different. In earlier seasons of 1000-Pound Sister, Amy was often framed as the emotional bridge of the family. The sister who balanced humor with vulnerability, chaos with compassion. Even during conflict, there was a sense she and Tammy were tethered by something unbreakable. That assumption is now being tested in ways that feel less like temporary tension and more like long-term separation in progress. The fallout from last season's explosive fight between Amy and Tammy has not faded with time. Instead, the premiere shows what happens after the shouting stops. There are no dramatic reconciliation scenes, no tearful promises to do better. What replaces those moments is something quieter, and in many ways, more unsettling: avoidance. Conversations about the sisters are short, careful, and emotionally guarded. Family gatherings feel like logistical necessities rather than emotional reunions. The absence of warmth between them is more noticeable than any argument. Amy, meanwhile, appears to be standing at a personal crossroads that extends beyond family disagreements. Her focus on her upcoming wedding and the life she is trying to build outside the immediate family structure is framed not only as a romantic step forward, but as a symbolic move toward independence. She speaks about the future with determination, but the context around her suggests this independence may be coming at a cost. The more Amy emphasizes doing things her way, the more it becomes clear that her path is diverging from the tightly connected family dynamic that once defined her. Sources of stress around Amy do not appear limited to wedding planning. The emotional weight she carries in her scenes suggests a woman trying to manage multiple pressures at once: family expectations, public scrutiny, motherhood responsibilities, and the ever-present reality of filming. Her expressions often shift between forced composure and visible exhaustion. Rather than the energetic, quick-witted presence viewers are used to, this version of Amy seems overwhelmed, as if she is operating in survival mode rather than stability. Tammy Slaton's trajectory this season provides a sharp contrast. For years, Tammy's story on 1000-Pound Sister was centered on dependency, medical crises, and emotional volatility. Now, the premiere presents a different image. Tammy discussing future employment, independence, and a growing life with her girlfriend Andrea. This evolution changes the emotional balance between the sisters. Tammy is no longer in the role of the struggling sibling relying on Amy's support. She is presenting herself as someone setting boundaries, choosing stability, and protecting her emotional space. That shift matters. When family roles change, old coping patterns stop working. Tammy's calmer, more self-directed attitude means she is less willing to engage in emotional back and forth that once defined their relationship. In group settings, she appears measured and selective in what she shares. Her reactions to discussions about Amy are neutral on the surface, but noticeably restrained. The absence of emotional engagement speaks louder than open frustration. Family dynamics beyond the sisters add further strain to the overall picture. Chris, often positioned as the practical problem solver, is navigating tension at home as Brittany works to eliminate soda from her diet in hopes of qualifying for weight loss surgery. What might sound like a small lifestyle change becomes a source of real friction, illustrating how even personal health goals ripple outward into relationships. Scenes between them blend humor with stress, underscoring how difficult long-term change can be inside a family already managing multiple pressures. Amanda's storyline introduces another layer of seriousness. Her openness about ongoing health concerns shifts the emotional tone of family conversations. Moments that might otherwise center on celebration or casual updates instead carry an undercurrent of worry. The family is not just dealing with emotional disagreements, they are also confronting physical realities that demand attention and energy. Even events meant to unify the family, such as preparations for Misty's birthday celebration, do not fully escape the tension. Interactions feel polite, but cautious, as if everyone is aware of invisible boundaries. Laughter exists, but it is shorter, more contained. The ease that once defined large family scenes seems replaced by a sense that each person is managing their own internal stress while trying not to ignite further conflict. Within this environment, Amy's emotional isolation becomes more pronounced. While she is physically present, she often appears psychologically distant, focused on her own upcoming life changes rather than shared family plans. Her determination to move forward suggests strength, but also hints at withdrawal. Independence can be empowering, yet it can also function as a defense mechanism when someone feels overwhelmed or unsupported. For longtime viewers of 1,000-Pound Sister, this premiere challenges a core expectation that no matter how chaotic things became, the Slaton siblings would ultimately regroup. Season 8, Episode 1 introduces the possibility that regrouping may not come easily this time. Growth, which once served as the family's shared goal, is now happening at different speeds and in different directions. Tammy's stability, Amy's emotional strain, Chris and Brittany's health efforts, and Amanda's medical concerns are all valid journeys. But they are no longer synchronized. The result is a premiere that feels less like the start of a new chapter and more like the continuation of a slow emotional unraveling. Nothing explodes on screen in a single dramatic moment. Instead, viewers are shown the quiet signs of separation. Shorter conversations, careful wording, independent planning, and a family learning how to function while key relationships remain unresolved. As the season begins, one question quietly shapes everything that follows. Can the emotional bond that built 1,000-Pound Sister adapt to who these people are becoming, or has the distance already grown too wide? The premiere does not answer that question, it simply presents the evidence. In glances, in tone, in what is not said, and leaves viewers watching a family at a fragile point, where every step forward for one member seems to create new space between the others. This is not just a story about weight, weddings, or career steps. It is a portrait of transition, where personal growth and emotional separation are unfolding at the same time. And for Amy Slaton, the season begins with the weight of both pressing down harder than ever. As Season 8 of 1,000-Pound Sister moves beyond its tense premiere, the emotional storyline surrounding Amy Slaton shifts from visible strain to something more complex, quiet disengagement. Where part 1 of the season shows the fractures, the next phase reveals how those cracks begin influencing everyday decisions, reshaping not just family conversations, but the structure of Amy's life itself. In unscripted television, conflict is often loud. What makes this stage of the season notable is how subdued the turmoil appears on the surface. Amy is still present in family settings, still participating, still speaking about upcoming milestones. Yet the emotional investment that once defined her role feels noticeably reduced. Observers of long-running family-based reality series often describe this stage as protective detachment, a period when an individual remains physically involved while emotionally pulling back to avoid further stress. Amy's scenes increasingly revolve around logistics rather than connection. Wedding plans, scheduling, personal arrangements, and future-oriented conversations dominate her screen time. These discussions are not inherently negative, but the framing suggests something larger. Amy is building a life structure that does not rely on the family ecosystem that once supported her through every major event. The symbolism is difficult to ignore. Marriage, relocation considerations, and long-term independence all point toward a shift in identity from sister within a unit to individual defining her own household. At the same time, the emotional temperature between Amy and Tammy remains cool, almost formal. Their exchanges lack the impulsive teasing and emotional shorthand that defined earlier seasons of 1,000-Pound Sister. Even neutral topics carry an undercurrent of caution. When siblings begin choosing words carefully, it signals not resolution, but fragility. Neither appears eager to revisit past arguments, yet the absence of repair work leaves tension suspended rather than settled. Tammy's evolution continues to play a critical role in this dynamic. Her pursuit of employment, daily routine, and relationship stability with Andrea present an image of forward momentum. Importantly, this progress has come with stronger boundaries. Tammy's conversations suggest a growing awareness of what environments and interactions disrupt her stability. That awareness, while healthy for her personally, reduces the emotional flexibility she once had for family volatility. This is where the emotional trajectories of the sisters quietly diverge. Amy appears to be reacting to stress by expanding outward, planning a new life chapter, redefining her priorities, and focusing on future change. Tammy, by contrast, is reacting by narrowing her circle, protecting her progress, minimizing conflict, and conserving emotional energy. Both approaches are valid coping strategies, yet they move in opposite directions, making reconnection more complicated. Family events during this period highlight the strain without directly confronting it. Group scenes often include long pauses, topic shifts, and side conversations that avoid central tensions. Chris continues to function as a stabilizing presence, using humor and practicality to keep interactions from escalating. However, even his usual ability to diffuse discomfort shows limits. His own household pressures with Brittany's dietary transition mean he is juggling stress on multiple fronts. Brittany's effort to eliminate soda, framed as a requirement for weight loss surgery eligibility, becomes a surprisingly revealing subplot. Behavioral changes tied to health can affect mood, routine, and household dynamics. Scenes involving her and Chris illustrate how personal health goals ripple through relationships, creating short tempers, moments of fatigue, and emotional sensitivity. This mirrors the broader family atmosphere. Everyone is working toward improvement, yet the process itself generates tension. Amanda's health concerns continue to shape the emotional backdrop of the season. Her willingness to discuss medical uncertainties brings a sobering tone to family gatherings. In a show that began as a journey toward physical transformation, the reminder of ongoing health risks underscores the seriousness beneath the entertainment. It also reframes some of the emotional distance between Amy and others. When energy is divided between medical anxiety and family conflict, emotional resources thin quickly. Within this environment, Amy's public demeanor becomes increasingly layered. She speaks about the future with determination, but her expressions often suggest fatigue. Experts who study stress patterns in high-visibility individuals note that life changes often cluster. Relationship transitions, family conflict, career pressure, and parenting responsibilities rarely occur in isolation. Amy appears to be navigating all of these simultaneously. The result is not dramatic breakdown, but gradual depletion. One of the most telling shifts in this stage of 1,000-Pound Sister is the change in how Amy discusses support. Earlier seasons frequently showed her leaning on siblings during emotional lows. Now, she speaks more about managing on her own, making her own choices, and not wanting to be judged. Independence can signal growth, but when it emerges during unresolved conflict, it can also indicate withdrawal